chasing the rabbit so you don't have to. Here they are, Mark and Don, the two crazy guys.
Alrighty, welcome back to another broadcast of the Two Crazy Guys. You are listening to us on the Contra Radio Network. You can log on to ContraRadioNetwork.com and get more information there. We are starting to grow. We have our Facebook page is at Contra Radio Network. It's Facebook, and then all you have to do is click on Contra Radio Network Broadcast, and that is the public page. There's lots happening, lots going on. We got a new sponsor, a new partner. They are called Pack Rabbit. And you can log on to ContraRadioNetwork.com and click on the Pack Rabbit link. Mark, tell us a little bit more about Pack Rabbit.
Pack Rabbit's a pretty cool company. When I was looking to buy a backpack, I guess we'd call it, I started looking into frames as opposed to the unit, and I found them. It was either them or Alice, and they used to make the Alice packs for the military, but they've come a long way, and they're really comfortable. They have a seat that folds down so you can sit down. You don't have to drop. You just drop your back, sit down. You don't have to unhook it.
Nice.
And so they're really well made. They're designed by a chiropractic team. That's one of the partners and stuff. And just really good guys. I mean, they got some things they do for the military, and a lot of stuff for military hunting. A lot of programs they're with. So I think they're a great company, and they make a great product. I love mine. I mean, I bought two of them, one for me and the wife, because it's got to be his and hers, or they're
absolutely. We have some other sponsors. We have some other.
Yeah. I'm gonna put a banner up there on here in just a minute, and then the link is on there.
Cool.
Working on that, so
that's very
check
cool.
them out.
It's good. It's good to know that the network is growing, and we're starting to reach out and get some advertisers and sponsors. And if you want to advertise with us, you can log on to ContraRadioNetwork.com/join, and you can either come on the network if you're a content provider, or you can let us know that you're interested in sponsorship through that link as well, and we will definitely get back to you. We have another kind of newer sponsor with Stag Arms. Stag Arms sells AR-15 stuff.
I like that one.
Yeah, and all their stuff is, of course, made in the USA, and it's all really, really good stuff. So you can check out Stag Arms. And we have other sponsors, Valley Food Storage, Get the Tea, and of course, there is what's the other one there, Mark, that we have?
Get the Tea, Pack Rabbit, Black Metal Firearms, Stag Arms. What are they? MLM. What is that? HB Vitality.
HB Vitality. There you go.
Yeah.
And of course, let's see. We have.
I think there's another one.
Proper. That's the one. Proper. Proper is a really great apparel and company, and so you can check them out. So we have quite a few sponsors. You can log on to ContraRadioNetwork.com/sponsors, and all of our sponsors are listed on that page. They'll also be throughout the site, so you can just find them and click on them and check out our sponsors. Because listen, folks, when you help our sponsors, you help us. Right. And so if there's something that you're interested, especially in the prepping, in the prepping industry, if you're looking for long-term food storage, Valley Food Storage, man, they have proven themselves to us, man. Yeah. And, Mark's not an easy guy to please. He really isn't. And truthfully, neither am I.
Food storage. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you should be picky about your food storage. This is something that you're saving for a rainy day. And then when it rains, you don't want this garbage that no one will eat, or it's not good for you.
Exactly. And clothing and outdoor apparel and that's the kind of sponsors we have, and that's our niche that we're into. So please, if you're looking to buy something for the loved one or something along those lines, please check out our sponsors first and see if there's something there that you can buy, because like I said, helping them helps us, because we do have costs that we need to cover, and they certainly help us cover those costs. So check out our sponsors, and please go over and support them. We're very, we don't just accept sponsorships from anybody. We are looking for people who are within our niche and have good quality products. And I'm telling you, Valley Food Storage, man, they're way up there on that notch, man. They really are. We had Joe Borowski, the VP of Operations, come on the program. You can check that out on the archives by logging on to crn.best, and you'll go through the archives there. Yeah. He's a sincere guy, man, and he knows his stuff.
Right. And excuse me, like Proper, I'd never heard of them. You brought them aboard, and I went to the website, and I was like, these guys have been around for a very long time. 90% of the gear and the clothing that our military wear are from them. So they're not just Joe, Billy Bob, whoever, China factory, sweatshop making this stuff and calling it, tactical gear.
Right.
They're up there, I would say, with the what is it, the 511 brand or whatever that is, which I don't. I like Proper much better. And from what I've seen, Valley Food, a lot of them. Stag Arms, I've heard about them for a long time. They're a good
Stag
company.
Arms, man. It's amazing that they've come on board, man. Guys, that is a great company. It's the thing about Stag Arms is, again, it's in our niche. It's about what we talk about. It's made in the USA. They have transferable warranties. It's really, really good stuff. We're not promoting Chinese or Japanese junk. We're promoting good quality product companies. Pack Rabbit, that's another product company, a good product company. We're not, it's not like we're trying to sell you guys Chinese pot metal stuff. So that's why, again, when we tell you to visit, when we tell you to visit our sponsors, and you go and you buy, you're actually buying quality product stuff. You're not buying junk. We won't try to sell you junk, man.
No.
We won't try to partner with these companies that are fly-by-night companies. I mean, like you said, Stag Arms has been around a while, and they've got quite a good reputation.
Yeah. Yes.
So the fact that they've come on board means a lot to us.
How do I spell that? S-T-A-G or A-G-G?
Yeah, it's S-T-A-G.
Okay, I'm going to put that up here just so people can remember.
Yeah.
Is it I'm thinking it's stagarms.com.
Yeah. And so,
and really, as we're talking about our sponsors and advertisers and stuff, a lot of these companies we choose very selectively, because our deal with them is they don't just hand us a grip of cash and then we promote them. They're kind of affiliate type things, which works best for them and for our niche and stuff. So, if you can go check them out through one of our links, it's definitely a help. But if you just go there and if you tell them that you heard it from us or someone else at CRN, that helps also. So
the thing is that we if you want to go check out any of the sponsors, make sure you go through the links that are on ContraRadioNetwork.com, because those are tracked directly to us, and it lets them know that that's where you're hearing it from. So that's kind of important. It's a good thing you brought that up, Mark. And so, we are affiliated with these companies, and they know that we're out there. They know that we're promoting their stuff. And when you go through ContraRadioNetwork.com and click on the links there, that definitely tracks it to us, and it helps us, and it helps them recognize us, because everything is affiliated and tracked to us. And so, listen, we've ate up the first segment of the program, guys. We're going to be back. We'll talk more about what's going on right after this. So stick around, because there's a lot more to talk about, and we'll be back shortly. Do not go away. Welcome back to the second segment of today's program. Man, we shot the whole first segment of the program talking about our sponsors. And so let's do this. This segment of the program is going to be brought to you by PackRabbit.
Okay.
So log on to ContraRadioNetwork.com and click on the PackRabbit link and go do some buying over there.
Right. Yeah.
So let's talk about, Mark had mentioned towards the end of the first segment, what are we going to talk about? Well, there's lots to talk about. Let's talk about Donald Trump, President Trump.
Love that guy.
So right now, job growth is soaring.
Right.
Record people are working. Unemployment is at a 50-year low, Mark.
Which means a lot to a lot of people in spite of the politicians. That is important.
And the Democrats want to stop that.
Of course, because it's making them look inept.
I don't get it, brother.
If
I don't
can
get
stop
it.
Trump from improving the economy, then all that's left is we have to turn to them and hope they improve the economy, which they have not done. Ever.
Government dependency is what it's about. The government is going to be there for you. But yet, we saw how the last administration failed miserably in that.
Right.
I don't know, brother.
Literally, the government cannot be there for everybody. I mean, they just, when the police say we can't protect your safety, they're not saying we don't care about you. They're just saying there's just too many people. FEMA can't. Even the government's own admission with ready.gov says have 3 days, 72-hour food, and stuff, because we won't be there for 72 hours and we might not even be after that. So
That's
they're
right.
admitting that they can't take care of everybody. And so here is the government's doing really well for jobs. That means people are working. All colors of people are working, record numbers. And that makes their life, their quality of life, so much better. No matter who you are.
Yeah, you've got a screaming economy right now.
Yeah.
You've got a really good foreign, what's the word I'm looking for? Foreign policy program going right now. And the Democrats, all they want to do is stop that.
Right.
It's beyond me.
Do they want to stop it, or are they just using this as smoke and mirrors leading up to the election?
Well, here's the thing.
I mean, they would stop it if they succeeded, but there's a reason other than to stop the economy, because they would say, well, no, that's not what we want to do.
You just nailed it, brother. And I don't think well, maybe you do realize you nailed it, but you nailed it. This is not about impeaching Donald Trump.
No.
They know look, they're going to do it. They're going to move forward with articles of impeachment. Okay.
Right.
But that's not what this is about. What this is about, it's about putting a mark, because here's the deal. The Democrats know that they are not running anybody that can possibly defeat Donald Trump in 2020.
No.
Okay. They know that. They know they can't beat him in the election. So what they're trying to do is they want to try to get rid of him, but they know they're not going to do that because it's not going to happen in the Senate. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to put a mark on him. But Donald Trump was impeached.
Right.
Well, yeah, he will be impeached. There's no mistake about it.
Right. But he won't have to step down. He'll be able to
he won't be removed from office. He won't be convicted of anything because there's nothing to convict him of. It's just a sham. It's all it is it's a mark to try to, no offense on your name there, buddy.
It's a scarlet letter, basically. It's trying to mark him with.
It's a stain to try to bring his popularity down. But here's the problem. I don't know. I guess they're stupid, because what they're doing is they're actually increasing his popularity.
Well, I think going back to the scarlet letter effect, or whatever they're trying to do, they know that they're not stupid. Don't even sell them that short, because they're probably pretty evil smart. But I think they think their base is stupid enough to think that he's got that mark on him now. And really, it's no different than they called you in for questioning about an alleged crime that happened miles away. but they ask you a bunch of questions. They just call it, he was impeached. Well, he was questioned. His integrity was questioned, but he wasn't found guilty, so he might have been investigated, but we all get investigated. I've been audited. Doesn't mean I had to pay him any money or go to jail. It just meant they go, we got questions.
Well, here's the deal. I know I say that all the time, but this is what it's going to boil down to. And so I guess they're Mark, man, I'm questioning my own thoughts here because I don't know if they actually believe this crap or if they really understand that just because they draw up articles of impeachment doesn't mean diddly doo-doo.
No.
All it means is it's going to go to the Senate for a trial, but there's no crime to try the man on. But here's, unlike the shit for brains that, excuse the language there.
Did you mean shift for brains? Or?
That's what I meant.
Okay.
Unlike shift for brains, he's not going to get to call the witnesses.
No.
You see, in the impeachment inquiry,
That becomes a Senate thing.
In the impeachment inquiry, the Republicans were not allowed to call any witnesses.
No.
They were only allowed to choose from the witnesses that the Democrats said, here's the list of people, you can choose from these people. And they were all Democrats.
Right.
Okay. Or hacks. But here's the thing.
And then when they ask them questions, follow-up questions, they were told they can't ask that or they can't answer that.
Well, none of the witnesses were a witness to anything.
No.
None of the people that they called as witnesses actually witnessed anything.
It was a tea party of second opinions and hearsay evidence. Not even evidence.
Here's the difference is in the trial in the Senate, they're not going to have that privilege.
No.
They're going to have to allow the Republicans to call their own witnesses.
I think the thing is, though, the Democrats are pretty good at manipulating the media, obviously, since they're in their pocket.
Sure.
And so if let's say the Senate calls Schiff to explain his actions or ask to speak to the whistleblower, they can say no. And before the Republicans could go, see, because you're hiding something or you have no evidence, they can make it look like the Senate is being unfair, and their base will still go, yeah, why would they want to talk to the whistleblower? He could end up dead. So they're going to spin it. Every question is going to be spun and not answered. So all the Senate would really do is just go, not guilty, no evidence, see you later, and drop this hot potato.
Well, until the Republicans actually are able to call their own witnesses, then it's a different story.
Yeah, they could call in a lot of people, but then, the media will still say, well, it doesn't really matter what Roger Stone says because, he's a witness for Trump and we've already found him guilty in our kangaroo court. And
but here's the deal.
Will run with that.
But they will be able to call Adam Schiff.
Right.
They'll be able to call him on the witness stand. They'll be able to call Nadler. They'll be able to put Pelosi up there. They'll be able to bring in witnesses on this Steele dossier. They'll be able to bring in Attorney General Barr. They'll be able to bring in, Mike Pompeo. They'll be able to do that where they weren't allowed to do that in the House.
Will they be able to take the fifth, though? Like IRS lady.
But when you're under oath in a court of law and you're asked a question, you're not going to be able to plead the fifth on every question you're asked. You're going to have to answer. You're going to have to answer a question.
Right.
And but even if, okay, so let's play devil's advocate. Let's say they put Schiff on the witness stand. All right. And then he pleads the Fifth Amendment to every single question that he's asked.
Right.
Then they turn around and they put Attorney General William Barr up on the stand. And they say, okay, what evidence do you have that shows that the Democrats actually lied to a FISA court? Well, guess what? Remember, there's been an investigation going on all this time. And he's been collecting all of this evidence all of this time.
Right.
Well, here I have Bam, 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 bam. We have the Clintons linked to this. We have the Obamas linked to that. We have Schiff linked to this. We have Nadler linked to that. What are they going to do, bud?
They're going to have to answer, or they're really good at the two-step. That's all I worry about. I think those.
I agree, but you can only two-step so far, brother.
I don't know if they're willing to play that card, though. They're drawing up all their impeachment stuff and all that, and I assume they have a game plan for whether the Senate goes through with it or just says there's no case here. And I've never seen the Republicans good enough to play the game as good as. I mean, the Republicans are like a varsity team playing against an NFL team. They really suck at most of what they're doing. I mean, Barr is a great guy. What's his name, Gowdy, these guys. But when it comes to the spin, not in an illegal way, but just to get the word out, they're going to be talking to a deaf wall, with the media. And so they've really allowed themselves to become in a bad position where they have no defense and they have no offense. They just suck. They might be right, but so I would not underestimate the Democrats not having a really good game plan for no matter what the Senate does with this. Trump will still win.
Of course he's going to win.
But even that one guy, Green or whatever, I think it was, is saying, well, we can impeach him again. If he gets reelected, we can impeach him 10 times.
Right.
So it's just really smoke and mirrors which begs the question that you asked earlier, what's the point? Just to ruin America? Well, they're not going to say that, asking them that. It's like asking the kids who broke the lamp. You're not going to know, get over it. But I'm watching. Did you see the funniest thing I've heard? I don't know how we're doing on time, but
we're going to have to talk about it after the break.
Okay. Nancy Pelosi made a really great comment where she quoted Benjamin Franklin. So we'll talk about that when we get back.
Stick around. We'll be back with more right after this.
Each year, an average of 6 hurricanes make landfall in the U.S. This year alone, 2 are expected to become Category 3 or higher. We've all seen it on the news before. The second a storm becomes a hurricane, people flock to their local stores and empty the shelves in a matter of hours. Thousands are left without food and water for their families because they weren't prepared. Don't be one of those people. Prepare now with a 72-hour emergency kit from Valley Food Storage. It's the best and easiest way to get all of the essentials for an emergency in one convenient bag, from freeze-dried food to first aid and more. Rest assured that in your time of need, you can count on Valley Food Storage. Order your emergency kit today.
All right. Welcome back to segment 3 of today's program. This segment of the program is being brought to you by Valley Food Storage. Try it before you buy it. Log on to ContraRadioNetwork.com. Click on the Valley Food Storage link and get yourself a free sample of Valley Food Storage product. No credit card required. All you have to do is click on that banner, log on, and get yourself a free sample. Before the break, Mark, you had mentioned Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, I love it when these people, in politics, especially the Speaker of the House, talks about the framers. And boy, could she not. I mean, she went back. I mean, she almost quoted the Declaration of Independence and everything, And she brought up Benjamin Franklin when he came out on the courthouse steps, and the lady asked him, what did you give us? And he said,
Elizabeth Powell.
Yeah. She said, we gave you a republic. Pray you keep it. And in the same sentence after she says that, she goes, and our democracy is in danger right now. And I was like, did she not hear the words coming out of her mouth? She just said he gave us a republic.
Right.
And then I thought, what? She's actually right. Their democracy is in peril. The Democratic Party
is right. That's true.
The democracy that they want,
ding,
really is in peril, because a lot of Americans are smart enough to go, you can call it whatever you want. This is not it.
Mark, you just freaking hit the nail again on the head, brother.
So it must be a carpenter, man.
Damn, you're a smart son of a gun, and you just don't know it. Neither do I. But
Yeah, well, neither do I.
man, it just went. Man, I just had an aha moment.
Yeah.
You and I know that we live in a constitutional republic.
Yes.
Elizabeth Powell of Philadelphia was a very prominent woman back in those days. She was very angst, and she was very excited, and she did approach Benjamin Franklin. You can look this up. It's all true. It's all statistically true. It happened in history.
Yeah,
I know they'll try to change
a
it.
picture of it, actually, a drawn picture cartoon, for the news, and that's her.
And she said, well, what have you given us? And he replied, a republic, madam, if you can keep it. Absolutely true. She also was the one that convinced George Washington to run for a second term. He was only going to run. He was only going to be a one-term president.
Right.
But she wrote him a letter, and she convinced him why he needed to run for a second. He did, and he won. Right. Elizabeth Powell was and remember, women couldn't vote back then.
Right.
But you're right. We live in a constitutional republic, and I always have said, they don't know what form of government we have, but they do know.
Mm-hmm.
They want it to be a democracy.
And it is in peril. Their democracy.
And you're absolutely right. Man, Mark, wow. I just had an aha moment. Yes, their democracy is in peril.
Yeah. And Trump.
They know it.
Because of that and thinking people. So because Trump, he might not use the word democracy or republic all that much, but what he's doing is representative. And it's destroying their pretty little tea party, Can you hear that dinging, or is it just in my imagination?
That's John.
Oh, does he want to join us?
Bring him on board.
I don't know.
John's trying to ring in. If you want to bring him on board, send it to him in the private message. He's available, he said.
He's available. He can yell at us.
The CRN overlord wants to come on board.
The overlord. Let me wait, how did I do this here? Oh, there it is. I'm still here, right?
Yes, you are.
Can't see what I'm doing on screen. Where is Mr. John?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to bring host and founder of the Contra Radio Network, John Jeffers of the Jeffers Brief, on board. Stand by as we bring him in to the program.
Well, it's interesting, that the media never says what the politicians actually say. Because
of course not.
They're right. Their democracy is pretty well shit. It's falling apart.
You're right. And man, Mark, you're a genius, dude. I've been fighting all this time trying to figure out, they keep calling it a democracy. That's because that's what they want it to be. And right now that is in jeopardy. It's in jeopardy. It's in peril because they have now I've also said, well, Trump's not a staunch conservative. Well, what is the definition of being a staunch conservative? Because right now he may not be, as right-winged as you and I, right. But by God, he sure is doing the work of a constitutional conservative right now.
Right. And really, back in the day, they didn't have what you would call conservative or liberal and stuff. They had, libertarians were, and liberals were called libertarians were called liberals back then. And they were very libertarian,
yes.
So, yeah, he's not a conservative. So what? Most conservatives aren't conservative. We have a real, what do they call that? Bifurcation of, even within the Republican Party, you got rhinos, you got morons, you got, and then every once in a while you have a good one. So whatever Trump is, I like him. He's doing a good job. And if it had a name, I'd probably join it.
I would join it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Like I said, every time they mention Donald Trump did something, he's just gaining more popularity. Oh, by the way, Kamala Harris is out.
Yeah.
I
saw that. I couldn't have been happier.
And here's the other thing is Bloomberg is in.
She was, huh?
Bloomberg is in.
Is he? Well, he just kind of went under the radar. More rich white guys.
Dude, in 1 week, he's polling at 5%. In 1 week, he's polling higher than Cory Booker has polled the whole time at a whole 2%.
Well, they made it seem like when Kamala Harris dropped out, that the only people on the stage to come in this coming debate are going to be white people. And I was
Rich
like,
white people.
did Cory Booker just fall off the stage? And I didn't see this because he's still in. He's
he's in, but he doesn't qualify to participate in the debates.
Oh,
He hasn't brought in enough campaign donations, and he's not polling at a high enough poll rate to be able to be qualified for the debate stage. He's still in.
So, like we were talking, see, it's a corporate football draft, and it's not, the Republicans and the white people have nothing to do with it. This is all being done. These little rules and who's in and who's out is the Democratic Party. The people that you guys that are all Democrats love and worship. So, how does the Republicans get even associated with that problem? Yeah,
Right.
they do. That's why I'm worried about this, impeachment thing, whether it goes to trial with the Senate or not. They play the game so good that even though it's their fault that there's not enough black people in the debate, it's the Republicans' fault.
Well,
It's conservative white people's fault.
But see, Kamala's not really a black person.
No, she's more, I don't know what the hell she is. She is a horrible candidate. Anyway, she was
and
rude
she
and just
absolutely
uneducated and a liar.
she was the rudest person I've ever seen in my entire life.
There's Mr. John. Should I bring him in or should we wait until
Bring him in.
Bring the man into the
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the CRN overlord, host and founder of the Jeffers Brief and the founder of Contra Radio Network, John Jeffers himself. Greetings, Mr. Jeffers. Welcome to the program.
Greetings.
If I had one of them cheap soundtracks, I'd be playing the applause, Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised you don't have it spooled up, ready to roll, man.
Don't you have a bunch of soundtracks? You should have brought that in yourself there, buddy.
I probably should have, but I was busy publishing episodes.
Whatever.
Oh, that's right. So you can log on to www.crn.best and check out the latest Contra Radio Network products that are out there as far as the podcasts are concerned. John, just to bring you up to date, we have been talking. We killed our first segment by talking about our sponsors. Then we talked a little bit about the sham impeachment scam. And now we were just talking about Kamala Harris, the African American black woman that was.
She is not African American.
See, I knew you were going to do that.
She is not. She is not.
No,
her mother is
not.
Indian. Her father is Jamaican.
And she's not an African American.
She is not.
Never even seen. No one in her family's ever even been to Africa.
You could say she's a woman of color if you like.
Oh,
but she's not.
You're looking at my camera angle here. I'm a person of color. I mean, I don't know what color it is, but
you look orange like Trump.
I'm the Orange Man Jr. Mini me.
Hey, let's get you a toupee and we can call you Trump.
It's funny you bring up the impeachment thing. This whole impeachment sham, the impeachment, if you will, it's got the Democrats in a pickle. It's almost like they've got themselves in a Pickett's charge.
Mm-hmm.
They got to go through with it now. No matter what happens, they got to choke on it and take it. And there's nothing they can do about it.
Well, we're talking about that. We'll get back to that. Obviously,
we're going to talk. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. We've got to go let our sponsors have a word. Remember, check out our sponsors at ContraRadioNetwork.com/sponsors. Support them because by doing so, you support us. We will be back right after this. Do not go away. Let's talk about tea. Not just any tea, getthetea.com. They have all kinds of cool stuff. They have cleansing teas, they have stuff for eye health, stuff from the sea, immune support, stamina and energy, food and protein, and just all kinds of cool stuff. Log on to the website at www.getthetea.com. Log on now. Alrighty, welcome back to the final segment of today's program. Remember to log on to ContraRadioNetwork.com and click on the sponsors tab. This segment of the program is being brought to you by Valley Food Storage. No, they sponsored the last one. Do over. Stop, do over.
Want me to put one up there for you? There you go.
There, okay. So we're gonna do over. That's part of the green room antics. You got the logo covered. There we go. I was going to say you got the logo covering John's face.
They have a way to do some overlays, but I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet either.
All right, here we go again. Alrighty, welcome back to the final segment of today's program. Bloopers and everything can be found in the Green Room Antics. You can watch the Green Room Antics by logging on to ContraRadioNetwork.com and becoming a paid supporter of Contra Radio Network, and you'll get access to all the Green Room antics as well. This segment of today's program is being brought to you by Proper to the Core, if you will. Log on to ContraRadioNetwork.com, click on the sponsors tab, and go check them out. So before the break, we brought CRN Overlord, host and founder John Jefferson. Mark and I have been talking about crazy antics.
And I'm still trying to figure out why we brought him over, but here he is.
And during the green room, it came up. The conversation came up. Man, I'm trying to host a program here, and this is not working. But anyway, during the green room, we talked about Joe Biden and the hairy legs comment. That was creepy, guys.
Sick Uncle Joe, man, I tell you, or whatever they call him nowadays.
If you want to hear Joe talk about it in his own words, come to the Jeffers Brief. That's my very first story. It is so bizarre.
And when you add it in with all the other weird kind of like, what did he just say, moments, you really get a good picture of what a sick person this guy is.
Man.
He's probably part of a pedophile ring. Some of the stuff he says really makes you wonder.
Complete weirdo.
Oh, yeah.
Or he's senile.
I don't know. I think he's hungry.
So we also talked about the sham impeachment and how they have to go on through with it. Mark and I talked about that a little earlier in the program as well. And we talked about sitting in the Senate and what's going to happen in the Senate. I'm not sure, John, what's going to happen in the Senate, because it has to go to the Senate when there's a crime. There is no crime.
Right now, as it stands, 2 Democrats in the House said they will not support impeachment.
Wow.
Well, see, that's the thing. They have to have the vote. They have to have the vote.
Right. Yes, have the vote.
Do they have the votes?
That's the question.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't see how they could.
I hope they do.
I want to see it. Oh, man.
I want
to see it go.
Do it. You go. First they say, that you don't have to obey, that, the Democrats say you have to obey congressional subpoenas. Well, guess what? The Biden crime family will be the first up to be subpoenaed. Let's hear how they spin that one.
Well, see, that's what I was trying to get at with Mark too, was I want this to go. And Trump now says he wants it to go, because here's why. We talked about how Adam Schiff and all those could possibly sidestep it by pleading the Fifth Amendment and all this other stuff. But what happens when they put, Mikey P on the stage? What happens when, remember, Attorney General Barr has been collecting all of this data and all this information. Mm-hmm. What happens when they put him up there and they start talking about the Steele dossier, and they start talking about the FISA warrant, and they start talking about, all this other stuff that they have now record of? What happens when they put all this stuff up? Are we about to see the swamp get drained?
I don't know, but I do know this.
I don't see that happening, but
it was a very, I agree with Mark. Tactically speaking, Pelosi sat there and put the next impeachment hearing Monday, the same day that the IG report is supposed to be due out. to try to
See,
steal
and-
the thunder. And you watch the mainstream media; they'll focus on that. They won't focus on the IG report.
That's
See, and-
exactly what Mark said.
that you can't underestimate not only the bad skills of the Democrats, or I mean the Republicans at media and controlling the narrative, and don't underestimate the Democrats of having a hell of a game plan if they take it to court with the Senate, because they can say whatever they want and the media will run with it.
Right.
Right.
And so the Republicans are horrible at it. And all they do is chase red meat. You throw them some red meat over there, and that's where they're going to run. Meanwhile, the Democrats will be controlling the entire narrative of this Senate impeachment thing.
Yeah, the whole thing is, and I told, we opened the program talking about this impeachment thing, and we all know that it's not going to go anywhere. But this is all about putting a stain on Trump. That's all this is.
Because they can't win.
No, they can't.
Scarlet letter before Demi Moore got ugly.
And we talked about Kamala Harris going out, and Bloomberg coming in. In 1 week, Bloomberg is now polling at 5%. Of course, he's buying all of that. He's paying for all of that. But in 1 week, Bloomberg is polling higher than what Spartacus has been polling the entire time, and he was one of the first ones in.
Yeah.
He's a goof, too.
Yeah. Well, see, and me and Don were talking about that. If you look at the fact that the only people that will be in the Democrat debate will be white people. And that is because the Democrats won't allow Cory Booker to be on there because he doesn't have the numbers to get there. And yet somehow that's conservative white people's fault.
Yes, even though it's a Democratic primary.
Yeah. We have
That's the
nothing
other
to
thing.
do with it. So it does worry me.
These people are polling at 2% and 3% within their own party.
Right.
What's that tell you, guys? Now, I'm not a fan of polls. I don't go by polls. I don't believe polls because the polls told us that Donald Trump stood 0% chance of becoming president, and Hillary Clinton was, without a doubt, 100% chance winner. That's what they fed to us from the polls. They're doing the same thing again. The polls are showing that any of the Democratic contenders will have a double-digit lead over Donald Trump in the general election.
Right.
Come on, guys. But we're talking about Democrats polling in their own polls. And these guys can't even get above 10%.
They won't. None of them will have a lead over Trump.
No.
I do predict
And
that
they know
he
it.
will win by an electoral landslide, just like
Absolutely.
Reagan did the second time. And the Democrats were just as ravenous when Reagan was running the second time. He's going to get us in war. He's John Wayne. He's a cowboy. He's going to shoot from the hip. Blah 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 blah.
Yada, yada, yada,
And he's going to get us all irradiated by nuclear bombs. And
Which
yet,
would have been Hillary. But
Yeah. and yet, Reagan won by one of the biggest margins ever with the Electoral College. So I think that's what's going to happen with Trump. He's already the next president of 2020. It's what happens after 2024
Right.
that
well,
we really have
you
to
want to
worry
know what I
about.
think? I believe, and this is just shooting from the hip right now, but I believe that they're going to try to run Ivanka.
Maybe
I don't know.
or Barron, and he's got the name.
Yeah.
Not nobility, but he's got
Listening to that.
titles of nobility. I can't believe
Well,
they
I mean,
brought that up too.
The reason I say Ivanka, first female president, Trump namesake, and regardless of what they try to tell you in the liberal media, everybody loves her everywhere she goes.
But is she American born?
Yes.
Yeah,
Ivanka is. That's the
Ivanka.
daughter.
the daughter.
Yeah. I always get her name and her mom's name mixed up.
Not Ivana. Ivana's dumb.
Yeah.
So that's
Wait a
why,
minute.
guys.
She might be dumb, but guys, look who she married. That wasn't too dumb.
Well, she tried to take him for everything he had too. But anyway,
Well,
that's why. Okay, go back to the dumb thing. But that's why I think they're going to try to run her, or they might even try to run Pence.
Pence would be okay.
Not a fan of Pence, but
I'm not a fan. Well, I mean, Pence. Here's the thing with Pence. Pence is now. Mark and I talked about this too. That Donald Trump isn't a quote constitutional Republican like the rest of us are, or conservative. But what defines that? Because he's doing everything that a constitutional conservative president would do.
Right.
Whereas Pence is, by all means and definition, he is a staunch constitutional conservative.
Yeah.
And he would be worse if they impeach Trump. That's who they get. But somehow they seem to think that they're going to take him out as well as Barr. 3-1, which has never been done, and it's never even been thought of in history.
I think he's more of a staunch Republican Democrat.
But
he's not constitutional because he wouldn't even open his mouth about red flag laws if he had
true
constitutional blood running through him.
True. But that's what I think right now, as far as the Republican Party is concerned. I mean, look what you got to choose from.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, so Stefanik, I got to give it to her, man. She
rocks.
Man, she just freaking blew him out of the water during that impeachment thing, man. She's new. She's a new face, and man, she just freaking tore it apart, man. I was really impressed when I was watching her. So she's somebody to keep an eye on.
Oh yeah, she's a rising star.
I agree.
Yeah, if we could get some new blood in there. I just wonder 2024 what we'll have, as far as offerings for that. I mean, there's a lot of good people out there. I mean, for sure, as long as they don't.
We're just going to have
Cruz and what's his name, Rubio.
I think
again.
forget that. But I think we need to get through 2020 first. But guys, we're out of time, man. Again, another show in the ditch.
I like that.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember, log on to ContraRadioNetwork.com, click on the sponsors tab, support our sponsors, because by supporting them, you support us. John, thank you for coming aboard, man.
I'm here for your listening pleasure.
He's there, right?
Mark, any final words in the last 30 seconds of the program?
No, I don't have nothing to say. Just vote for Trump. Hell with all those crazy liberals.
Trump 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, the next program will have some more information as to how this whole impeachment vote thing is going to go. Until then, you stay ready and stay awake. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Love you all. Adios.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Catch them next time as they dig into the issues. The Two Crazy Guys. Log on to the website at www.ContraRadioNetwork.com.